Ciao, I'm Christopher Stewart. Now, some experienced actors may be sitting there going, "Whoa, Chris, that's a little bit harsh as far as agents go." Well, you have to realize that what I'm doing is I'm giving you experiences and feelings and thoughts about a lot of what I've had to deal with in the industry. You, the individual who's also a starting out actor, probably sitting there going, "Why can't I get anywhere?" I mean, how many of you are brand new actors that have sent out hundreds of resumes without getting a single response and going, "Why is this?" Well, this is why. This is the industry. You gotta just kind of deal with a lot of the nonsense in the industry because eventually you get to where you're going. Now, everybody is different. Everybody has their own things that they just will not put up with. Okay? Let's say, for example, that you would look at me and say, what if a high-power, big business like CAA decided that they wanted to represent you? And with everything you've said, how would they approach you and whatnot? Well, I approach every agent the exact same way. Every agent. Whether they are the biggest in the industry or the smallest. No matter what, I approach every single agent the exact same way. I say, first of all, this is a new person, so all bad experiences we'll just forget about. We'll see what happens from day one, from first on the shot, no matter who they are. Okay? Now, the first thing I'm going to say is, my film references are Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer. Now, if they immediately interrupt me, if they immediately insult me, or start screaming, or start going berserk because I just mentioned people, I'm going to get up and walk out. I'm going to hang up on the phone. I'm not even going to deal with them. Why? Because here's the thing, guys. If I were applying for a job with IBM, and I just mentioned two top people who graduated from MIT, top of their class, and were very famous in the science industry, had published things in like Time, National Geographic, etc., and I mentioned these as scientific references because, say, they were my teachers or something like that. Now, if I did this to a representative from IBM, they would say, "Oh, great, hang on a sec." And they'd call up those individuals and find out about me, and then they'd call me in for an interview. Okay? But in the film industry, if you say something like, "This high-power actor happens to be one of my best friends and my reference in film," they get all spastic. They shouldn't. They should just go, "Oh, great, let me give Tom a call and find out what you were like working with, what he felt about you in theater." It's not that difficult. Okay? So you give me attitude just because I say Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, I'm out the door. I'm hanging up on you. I'm not even dealing with you. Okay? Now you want to get past that. So what's the first thing I'm going to say in an interview? I'm going to say, question, how do you feel about Italian theater? Now, a representative from CAA, WME, UTA might look at me and go, "Why is that relevant?" And I'd look at him and say, "Because you are talking to the only American with the most awards ever achieved in history in Italy. So if you have a problem with working with people in Italy, you're not going to be my agent, because I have got to be able to return to Italy and do more films. And if your company says, we won't allow you to work with other countries, we're done. If your corporate policy is that you won't allow me to work overseas in Italy or in France or in Germany, Japan, England, we're done. Okay? If you want to sit there and say, by your contract you have to, no, no, no. I'm telling you what's going to be in my contract. If you have a problem with that, we're done. Now, once you understand this, then you have a basis of how to approach me as an agent. You have to understand that I am one of the best actors in the world, that I have friends who are the top in the industry, that I will work with, that I will literally fire any agent who starts screaming at. If you sit there and say, I can't talk to that actor, you're fired. You're done. You're gone. If you say, I can't work with Dario Argento in Italy, you're done. Okay? And you could sit there and throw this, that, and the other thing in my face. I have a law degree. I don't need you to negotiate a contract. I can do that on my own. So, you know, that's where it all comes down to. Okay? Now, when you look at it from that perspective, you have to look at it from a greater perspective. Are you going to actually like me? Are you going to like working with me? Are you going to work your ass off? Because one of the final questions I'm going to ask anybody in the industry is this. Can you work half as much as I do? I don't ask anybody to work as much as I do. That's insane. But can you work half as much as I do? Because if you can't, we're done. It's simple as that. Okay? I'm a workaholic. I constantly need to be doing things. I constantly need to be busy. If you have a problem with that, you're done. If your whole thing is, well, I just want to be able to get you one contract a year, you're done. I don't need you. Okay? This is me. Now, I am not necessarily you. I'm not necessarily anybody else in the industry. This is me. Okay? If you're going to work with me, you're going to work. And you're going to work your ass off. And you're going to help me work everywhere. Not just in the US, all over the world. And if you have a problem with that, you're done. And if you have a problem with the fact that I'm going to suddenly work with this actor or that director or that producer that you don't like or have a problem with, tough, you're done. Okay? I have too many friends in the industry. I make friends easily in the industry. And if you have a problem with any contact I make, you're done. You have to be as friendly as I am. And if one of my friends, if Tom Cruise suddenly calls me up and goes, Chris, oh my God, I just got off the phone with your agent. Good God, did he scream at me? You're done. I don't need that. My friends don't need that. Okay? You know, and you also have to think about the fact that, guys, right now, if I wanted to, I could just drive over to Tom's house. I could just drive over to Val's house. I could drive over to Keith Sutherland's ranch. I could drive over to Harrison Ford's ranch. Spatially, I'm that close to everybody. So, as an agent, don't give me this crap. Because I'll just go over to their house and call you from their phone. Okay? So you have to understand this. And you have to realize that you're not dealing with somebody who's just trying to make crap up or be a joke or this, that, or the other thing, or somebody who's... No, I am one of the best. And this is another thing. You have to, as an agent, understand that I am a supporting actor. That means I'll take any part. I'll take extra roles now and again. I'll do primarily supportive roles. I might occasionally take a lead, take the villain, that kind of thing. I'm a rubber suit actor. I could do all sorts of stuff with CGI. I could be a mime anywhere in the industry. But you have to understand that I'm going to keep doing everything. Okay? And one of the biggest problems in the industry, they call it pigeonholing. Now, directors say only actors pigeonhole themselves. This actually isn't true. The major pigeonhole comes from agents. Because agents want you to be something you are not. Primarily it's because the major industry agents don't want to work with anybody. They want to kick everybody out. And their greatest way of kicking you out is to pigeonhole you. You were an extra in 15 films, therefore you are an extra. Okay? If you sent someone at CAA a resume that said that you did 150 films as an extra and that you were, say, Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings series, they would label you an extra and kick you out. Even if you were the top star in that particular group of films, because you were mostly an extra. So you're classified as an extra and you're kicked out. Okay? That's what a lot of it is. You tell someone in the United States you're a horror actor, oh man, you're done before you even started. Because in America, if you say horror, what do agents believe you are? Agents believe you are a college student that ran around with a bunch of college students. That you couldn't act to save your life, that the girl is just taking off her clothes to be filmed without clothes, that the guy is just there to be the distraction in the film because you can't just film a girl without clothes without a guy in the picture. And if you're not Jason running around with the axe, nobody cares. And that's the problem with American horror films, because it gave actors a bad name as far as the agents are concerned. And it gave actors a bad name because all an agent thinks about is things like Jason running around with an axe. They don't actually think of anything else dealing with horror. Okay? Which is why you could look at an agent and say, what do you feel about Hammer Films? I didn't ask you about horror. I asked you how you felt about Hammer Studios. Okay? You know, and this is a lot of differences between things. You have to look at things from a higher perspective when you look at everything at the idealism of an interview. Now, my biggest problem with most agents and their quote-unquote interview is because what they are doing is they are saying, go ahead, spend all this money, get on a plane, travel to my place just so I can look at you and say, no. I could have done that sitting at home, sending you a videotape on a DVD. Why am I going to spend thousands of dollars just to walk in the door and have you go, no? Okay? And here's the thing. If you're just starting out of college, you ain't got money. You ain't got millions. You don't have backing. And it should not be tougher for you to get a job in the industry than for someone who has Oscars. You are the build of the industry. You should be easily hireable. Someone like me walking around with an agent is just stupid. An agent should automatically just go, oh yeah, you're mine, let's go. Okay? But when you're looking at it from the whole perspective of the industry, if you just come out of college with a couple of things on your resume, no one's hiring, why? You know, you have to think about it from that perspective. And it isn't so much a no one's hiring. It's an agents aren't allowing anybody anything. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you have billions of film credits or a Juilliard stamp. The agents have to open their doors.